I was literally washing. You can't see, I haven't got the lights on, but I was washing here.
You can hear you.
And I heard the voice from behind me. It was right here by this fireplace. No, that was
upstairs.
banging from upstairs. Stay still.
Footsteps upstairs.
Clear bangs.
Crystal clear. Can't believe I recorded. Can you just move your legs if that's you? Oh my god! Lift one of your legs up. We can see you. Lift one of your legs up. What's it doing? It's gone. Oh my god. Oh my. You know, like when ash floats. Yeah. See.
Silence is never truly empty. It can be occupied. Tonight, 9 encounters unfold across forgotten forests, abandoned ruins, and places where something unseen already waits. At first, nothing feels wrong. Then the sounds begin. Movements without bodies, voices without origins, a presence that seems to react before anyone speaks. What starts as curiosity becomes intrusion. Tonight's mission seemed simple. Push deep into the darkness and expose whatever hides where the light refuses to reach. Here on Cursed Urban. But this forest wasn't just part of local folklore. It had a reputation that even seasoned explorers treated like a warning, not a myth. Tales of chilling sounds drifting through the trees, shadowy figures slipping between the undergrowth, and strange encounters that defied explanation had unsettled visitors for years. As the journey pushed deeper into the wilderness, an uneasy feeling began to grow. The sense that something unseen had already taken notice.
There has been disembodied voices being heard in the woods. There's been shadow people. There's been even apparitions spotted. So there's no short to excitement here. But yeah, we are out on our preliminary hike, and we're gonna go see what we got, and then we'll return to the campsite and chill, run some spirit talker, run some other tests, and see what else we get.
The warning erupts from his own recording feed. His voice, but not his intent. It loops again, distorted, urgent, impossible. A sudden violent impact detonates nearby, shaking the forest alive. He stands paralyzed. Silence collapses in. Then he finally breaks it, calling into the dark, waiting for nothing to answer.
It said leave right now. Leave right now. Oh! Dude, it said leave right now, and then that was loud. Hello? Anybody back there?
A sudden pause in movement, then it happens. A piercing scream erupts from deep within the forest, sharp and unmistakably human, slicing through the silence before vanishing into nothing. The direction is clear. No explanation follows. Only silence returns, heavier than before, as if the darkness itself has shifted its attention.
Gotta take my back. Yo, dude, I just heard somebody scream. I just heard somebody scream from that way. I just heard like a woman scream. Let's say, what response did I just get? I just heard a scream.
Sharp detonations tear through the forest, breaking the silence with violent force, yet nothing can be seen in that direction. The unease grows without explanation. The overwhelming feeling sets in that something is nearby, unseen and unconfirmed.
I literally just heard gunshots that way too.
She doesn't like you.
She doesn't like you. Guys, I'm getting that feeling again. Getting that feeling that I'm not alone out here, that I'm being watched or something. I'm just getting the feeling that I shouldn't be here, that I'm not supposed to be here.
As if the darkness itself is aware and standing just beyond reach. It felt like an ordinary night deep in the forest, until exploring with Angelo noticed something that shouldn't exist there. The woods, tied to old myths and warnings, felt strangely aware. From deeper inside, the silence deepened and his friend suddenly stopped, uneasy, saying the area felt wrong, like they were no longer alone in the dark.
What's up?
Could have sworn like something was behind me.
Like this direction?
Like here.
Oh.
And it was multiple times. Like I came, brought wood,
Yeah.
kind of like stacking things.
Like
then
a
I turned
feeling
around.
or like you heard something?
Like it sounded like somebody walking or something walking right behind me.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
That's why I don't know. if
I know,
it's-
we keep hearing like earlier, it sounded legit like there was something walking back here.
It's just it was a little more weird because it sounded like it was right behind me.
Yeah.
Something shifts in the darkness. Frank stays asleep, drifting unaware as the forest begins to feel distorted, almost unnatural. Even the brief stillness turns suffocating, like the air is compressing around them. Then, sharp realization. What was that? Slow, deliberate pressure moves through the silence, circling their camp.
I just heard something out there. I think Frank is asleep. I've been kind of like in and out of sleep. I fell asleep for like literally 30 seconds. Oh, maybe it's not asleep. No, he's asleep. What was that? It sounded like something was walking. Just gonna see if I hear it again. It's cold.
A growing sense suggests something may be following them. This exact spot feels different, charged with an unseen presence. It's not random anymore. It feels watched, observed from nearby. Whatever lingers here isn't just passing through. It feels settled in the dark, staying close enough to be felt, never revealed.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about this particular spot right now. It's like something's kind of lurking, like watching us. There's something here. Other than a bear?
Something surges past them, too fast to register, like an unseen mass cutting through the air. Both are left rigid, unable to process what just occurred. It defies explanation, repeating in unnatural bursts, as if triggered by their presence.
Whoa. How is that possible?
What?
The same thing, like a giant thing just ran by me, or a breeze, like a blast of air.
Really?
Yeah. How is...
That doesn't...
Okay, come on. Like,
It literally doesn't even
I
make
can't
sense.
explain that. That is weird.
Multiple times to both of us? That is
I just find it weird. It was shortly after you said bye.
Oh, true. Okay. Oh, yes, sumanasai.
Bye.
The conversation dies there, replaced only by silence that feels far from empty. What started as a routine investigation inside an abandoned haunted hospital quickly turned unsettling for search for supernatural. A sudden bang echoed through the empty corridors below, followed by slow, deliberate footsteps in the darkness. No source was visible, yet something was clearly moving, hidden, aware, and steadily closing in.
Dude, we are completely dark right now.
Yeah.
What?
I heard a bang down there.
Whoa,
I heard
whoa,
a bang down there.
whoa. Dude,
Did you hear that?
I just heard footsteps down there. One of the ways there was footsteps.
The hospital's silence shifted into panic as unseen forces triggered the lights. Flickers spread until the entire corridor blazed with sudden brightness. What he saw? A presence returned echoing through hollow walls. The darkness beyond the light was no longer empty. Something was steadily approaching with intent.
Enter.
It wasn't.
Gee, what the man? What the going on? What the
Dude, it's about to fully light up. Thank you. What did you see?
Dude, I heard those. Bro, that's fully lighting up.
As the exploration continued deeper into the abandoned structure, attention shifted toward a window where a voice was directed into the silence and an unfamiliar sound answered from beyond the glass. The attempt to communicate with the darkness was met with an unnatural response, as if something unseen had registered them and was now reacting from within the void.
Is that you down there?
Can you fully light that device up? Grab that silver rod or... What was that? It's the other body cam dying.
Dude.
Deeper into the building, the air turned heavier and wrong. The team already called it the most disturbing place they had entered. A clear female voice drifted through the empty halls with impossible clarity. No one could explain it. Tension locked in as they moved forward together. The silence broke again without warning.
Whoa, whoa,
I heard that.
whoa.
Did you hear that noise?
I just heard a girl's voice.
Yeah,
I just heard a girl's voice.
I did too. I think it said help.
Bro, cut that. Cut that off.
Dude, that was clear.
Another sound cut through the darkness, confirming something was inside with them and aware of their every step. And just like that, the investigation came to a quiet, uneasy halt. No footsteps were supposed to echo inside that abandoned structure, yet something did. Exploring with unknown had just entered when the silence felt like it tightened around them. Old buildings like this don't stay truly empty. They hold on to what shouldn't remain. Then came a sound, wrong, undefined, and impossibly close.
Anyone here with us? Thomas, if you're here, we got 2 newcomers. I really appreciate if you could put on a little bit of a show. Just like you did with my friend Ben.
Inside a 165-year-old house, the basement opened into something that felt less like history and more like a warning. A crawl space from the original 1860-era construction still remained, buried in silence that felt wrong to disturb. As they moved deeper, the air grew heavier, almost aware of their presence. Then, from the dark, it wasn't a voice at all, just something shifting, deliberate, impossibly close. Like the house itself had noticed them and made its warning known. You shouldn't be here.
So when I told you my basement was something from The Conjuring, I wasn't kidding. House is 165 years old. This basement
Built in 1860.
was once a crawl space.
Really?
The original crawl space is still here.
We believe it was all jungle.
We got a duck lung.
I know, I do too at some parts.
Silence swallowed every question as if the structure itself rejected their presence. 15 minutes were given for any response, any sign, any proof something was still there. The air tightened. Then the silence snapped, leaving a hollow, unnatural pause hanging in the dark. Then came a sensation, like something brushing past, as if unseen hands moved just out of sight, close enough to feel but never reveal themselves. From nowhere it returned again, closer this time. A single chilling demand echoing, "Why are you here?" With little expectation beyond empty ruins, Brothers Wild moved through the abandoned structure. Silence held at first. Then 3 distinct knocks rose from deep within the darkness below, cutting through everything. A sudden crack followed, forcing an instant stop. The sounds didn't feel natural, almost intentional. As the unseen pressure in the air thickened, curiosity collapsed into urgency, turning exploration into a quiet, rapid withdrawal.
I heard 3 like knocking. Rich looks at me and goes, "Did you knock then?" But I thought it was Rich knocking his plate. But it was in here definitely, wasn't it?
3 knocks, definitely 3 knocks.
It was 3 knocks like that.
The playback begins, and the mood shifts immediately. One moment it's routine. The next, a voice seems to rise from just behind, near the fireplace, close enough to feel impossible. Then, the house reacts. Heavy impacts slam from the upper floor, followed by slow, deliberate footsteps crossing overhead. Each sound lands with precision, as if something is aware it's being heard, turning the moment into controlled panic.
I was literally washing. You can't see, I haven't got the lights on, but I was washing here.
You can hear you.
And I heard the voice from behind me. It was right here by this fireplace.
No.
That was
upstairs.
banging from upstairs. Stay, Rich, stay still.
Footsteps upstairs.
Clear bangs.
Crystal clear. Can't believe recorded.
A challenge was issued into the silence. If anything was there, it was told to reveal itself. Instantly, the same spot where the voice had echoed before responded. A shape was seen shifting low to the ground, as if acknowledging the call. At the request to move, a subtle motion was observed, brief yet real. Then, without warning, it withdrew completely, leaving only rising panic behind.
Can you just move your legs if that's you? Oh my god! Yeah, we can see you moving your feet. Now, lift one of your legs up. We can see you. Lift one of your legs up. What's it doing?
It's gone.
Oh my god. Oh my.
It's gone.
Oh my god.
Something shifts in the darkness, first assumed to be one of them, until a pale movement glides across the corner and fades instantly. The air grows dense, ash drifting unnaturally, as if disturbed by an unseen force. Suddenly, a pan rips free from its hook and crashes down, echoing through the hollow space.
Did it? You know, like when ash floats?
Yeah.
See,
What was it?
Something just moved in that corner and that pan just fell off.
Oh my god, the pan.
The pan just fell off. I seen it.
Silence lingers for a breath. Then faint footsteps return upstairs. No one waits to confirm it. Everything ends there, in immediate retreat. Tonight's investigation with Dee's Dark Adventure leads into a remote, decaying farmhouse cut off from any trace of civilization. Its history buried beneath layers of silence and abandonment. Since arrival, strange disturbances have escalated. Objects subtly shifting, unexplained footsteps echoing through empty halls, and sudden cold spots that feel uncomfortably close. Outside, darkness becomes absolute, swallowing every sound. It's here that the unsettling realization sets in. The place feels occupied, even when nothing should be there.
I'm at this farmhouse. It's abandoned. I stopped by here yesterday, which I'm gonna upload that video on the other channel, which you've probably already seen it. This place is creepy. I heard a woman's voice. Hello? I can't turn the camera around quick enough. It's just... What? Okay. Hello?
Nerves overtook her as she pressed forward, uncertainty tightening with every step. The silence broke violently. Something massive surged through the space, retreating out of sight. The sound was unmistakable, heavy and deliberate, as if the structure itself had been disturbed. Even the day before had shown signs of the same presence, fast-moving and forceful. It was becoming clear. The building was never truly unoccupied.
Something big was in here. I heard something run off yesterday too, so. Something was just in here. Hello?
Confusion and panic intensified as she questioned the origin of the relentless movement around her. The floor beneath proved even more unstable, weakening her footing and heightening the sense of danger. The door resisted completely, refusing to open no matter how she pushed. Still trembling, she gathered herself and called out into the silence, demanding to know if anyone, or anything, was truly there.
Where is all this movement coming from, guys? That floor is worse than the one I just fell through. I can't get the door to push open. Okay. Alright. I'm still shaking, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, hello. Is there anybody here? I want to gift you something, and I'm sorry for intruding. I thought there was people living here. Maybe I could help.
Two distinct anomalies were observed, unsettling her as the environment subtly shifted with every movement. Attempts to rationalize failed as confusion deepened. A faint breeze was felt, but it could not explain the disturbing inconsistencies unfolding around her in real time.
There's two spots. Look. Oh, what is going on? I don't know what's happening. Is that... Maybe it's just the way I don't know, dude. That's creepy. Only ones do... Oh. All I do is back up and it looks like it's changed. I don't know, guys. This place is weird. I'm just coming and recording. What is that?
A large, indistinct presence was felt moving upward, then later, descending the stairs again. She called out into the silence with no clear response. The tension escalated rapidly, while the camera remained steady, capturing everything as the moment collapsed into something far more disturbing and inescapable. Night has fully taken over the Devil's Forest as Chris Bareed moves deeper into one of the most feared locations he has ever entered. The air feels unnaturally heavy, as if the darkness itself is aware of his presence. With no clear expectations of what lies ahead, he begins exploring the forgotten trails and hidden paths, where every step sinks into an unsettling silence that feels less empty and more intentional.
It's gonna be terrifying. Literally by myself, I'm in the Devil's Forest, you guys. One of the scariest places I've ever been in my whole entire life. Gonna be spending the night here. We're gonna be checking out some locations, some trails, some places you've probably seen before, maybe some new places. I don't really know what to expect. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be
Deep inside the forest, even sound begins to feel distorted as echoes twist unnaturally, almost like something is imitating them. The air grows heavier with every step, thick with unease and rising doubt. Then, without warning, a sharp movement cuts through the darkness between the trees, brief, unconfirmed, but enough to fracture the silence completely.
See, I can't help from hearing like your echo from hearing voice.
They say that's out here too, like mimics that like mimic your voice.
Yeah. So this is the Devil's Forest, guys. Well, what the fuck? I swear I saw something moving. I don't know if it was like a little animal. I just saw something moving there. Oh, trigger warning. Sorry, guys. Hello?
A sudden, uneasy discovery halts everything in its tracks deep within the forest. Half buried in the darkness near the lake, a disturbing skull comes into view, its unnaturally elongated shape instantly unsettling those present. It doesn't resemble anything familiar. In a place already tied to ritual rumors, the atmosphere shifts into something unmistakably wrong. Moxley's paranormal world approached a sealed, abandoned military base where the atmosphere felt unnaturally heavy, as if something was already aware of their presence. The site held decades of disturbing reports, paranormal disturbances, and alleged alien encounters since 2008. Previous investigators, including, were said to have fled in panic after experiencing something so unsettling it defied explanation.
Hello? You've had to leave here a couple of times, haven't you?
Every time.
Every single time. Oh, you okay? Hello?
Hello?
Is there someone there?
A sudden shift in the silence drew immediate attention as heavy movement was heard deep below. The sound quickly vanished, but the tension remained thick and unbroken.
There is no chance of us leaving, no matter what happens here tonight. Do you know what? That's very bold words, actually, innit?
Yeah, I know.
But that's what we're going to try and do. Look at that. Shit, maybe turn my torch off. Oh, it's a crow. It was a crow. Jesus, yeah, he's gone. My God, I just seen this shadowy figure coming towards me.
Despite hesitation, there was a decision to move further inside. A sharp noise from behind a barricaded section instantly halted the investigation. What first seemed explainable quickly became harder to dismiss as the sound appeared to originate from somewhere concealed beyond the boards.
There's something behind the board. Listen. Could have just been a vibration.
Even after the disturbance ended, the feeling that something had been hiding just out of sight refused to fade. A crushing sense of dread grew with every step, as though something unseen was guiding them deeper into the darkness. The atmosphere felt wrong, heavy, watchful, and impossibly oppressive. Then, without warning, a sudden disturbance shattered the silence. The moment came to an abrupt halt as an unknown shape began to emerge from the shadows.
That didn't just happen. That did not just happen. What in the f was that?
Transforming unease into the chilling realization that they might not be alone. Moments later, a loud, piercing scream echoed through the darkness, confirming their worst fear. Something else was there with them. As the atmosphere grew heavier, a firm warning was issued into the darkness, denying any unseen presence permission to follow or interfere. Then, through the spirit box, a chilling response broke through the static, as if something had answered directly. The immediate rejection that followed only intensified the moment, leaving the disturbing sense that something had been listening all along.
I'm going to say something before we go, and you're going to listen. We have not walked into a trap here tonight. You will not harm us spiritually, physically. You will not follow us.
I'm attached.
No, you're not. You're not attached. You're not attached to me. You're not attached to Moxley. You're not following us from the shadows. We are protected.
Are you staying?
No.
This is too convenient, this, what's coming through now.
Yeah.
A message through the spirit box confirmed in war, matching a previous encounter. The communication felt deliberate, forcing immediate realization of danger and a rapid decision to leave the location. Drawn back by something he can't explain, Jasco Best arrives once again at the abandoned cabin deep in the Appalachian Mountains. Just before midnight, he re-enters the investigation zone where something was once seen at the window. Unnatural, unexplainable, and unresolved. Cameras are rolling, equipment is active, and the surrounding silence feels almost aware, like the place has been waiting for his return.
We are staying inside of this abandoned cabin in the Appalachian Mountains. This place is absolutely...
What? What? Wait, in the window.
What'd you see? What did you see?
Wait, it was literally like, I don't know, like a shadow or something, like moved. Wait, shine the light out there a little bit more? Like, can you do the other mode? No, that's worse. I want to go the other way. I don't know, bro.
You saw a figure?
It was like a weird shadow, bro. Yeah, it was like tall, moving. I don't know. Hello?
A growing unease grips the team as they scan the darkness below, sensing something watching from within. A faint, red-tinged figure stands in the shadows, barely visible yet unmistakably there. Then, a distant whistle slices through the silence, confirming they are not alone in this place.
Look, what is that? What is that? There's something down there.
Yeah,
it looks like a figure.
It's all red except for right in there in the middle.
It looks like there's like a figure down there.
What the heck?
That was a whistle. Chandler, what did we get ourselves into?
What did you get me into? You're the one that found this place.
Fuck, bro. Okay, listen, Appalachian Mountains, tons of lore. So many people who go into these mountains, into these woods, and they never come out. They're never found again. And the only thing left behind is their personal belongings, their memories, stuff like that in the area.
Inside the cabin, tension spikes as something shifts near the open doorway and a ball is thrown back into view. Confused voices call out into the dark, but no answer comes. Then a slow, dragging sound across the ground, revealing something else is still here with them.
It could startle whatever is in there. Hello?
Fuck. Off the post.
Oh, I'm stepping in mud.
Okay.
Don't step over here.
Don't step over?
Don't step over here, no.
Wait, Chandler, listen.
What?
I hear movement.
Hello?
Can you kick that back to us?
Ooh.
What?
Great, you lost our ball.
Okay, no. You didn't hear that? Listen. It sounded like something was getting drugged.
Sorry, I got attacked.
It does not feel like something is moving behind them anymore. It feels like something is there watching and closing in. Panic breaks out as voices rise asking if they should leave. Eyes lock into the trees. The word demon is spoken, and fear takes over everything.
Oh my god.
Okay, so incantations, demon. What kind of demon are we talking about? Again. Okay. Dark incantations. I'm really trying to like put this together right now.
Well, do we have it? We're getting all that occult witch style like spells and stuff. Like, is there any witches over here?
I heard died.
Are the witches dead?
Isn't there songs like Ding Dong, the witch is dead?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ding Dong, the witch is dead.
A sudden sighting shatters the calm as something flickers deep near the trees. Eyes seem to reflect back from the darkness below, forcing instant alarm. Confusion turns to fear as voices collide. The word demon returns again, and now it is clear something is watching them closely.
What'd you see?
Wait, right behind that one, like, okay, right, see on the left? There's like that tree branch like sticking out?
Yeah.
I thought I saw like eyes down that way.
What?
Might have just been like a moth in front of us, but like...
Who's down there?
I swear, dude, it looked like it was far down there though.
It's just me. Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hello? Yeah, what? her demon again.
Yeah, I see something.
What?
Come here, come here.
Is it like what I saw?
Hold on, I have an idea. I'm gonna take a night shot photo.
Okay, good idea. I'll turn this way so you don't have like light.
You can just cover the light if you want.
Okay.
Something is seen standing behind the tree deep in the darkness, and the entire team freezes as panic takes hold. Flashlights are raised, but the shape refuses to make sense. Questions turn into urgency as they try to understand who or what is down there. Fear builds fast, voices shake, and the realization hits that whatever is in the woods is aware of them and watching every move they make.
Oh my god, bro, why does that look like someone's standing behind the tree? Why does that look like someone's... Who the f there? Yo, who's there? Chandler?
We turn up your light a little bit. Maybe.
You...
Here, I'll hold it. You.
Yo, who's there? Bro, look at that.
That is actually kind of insane. Hello? You'd think you would see eyes. Like if we shine a light down there, you know?
Jesus. Bro, my heart is in my asshole right now.
Where's my phone? Okay, I got my phone.
Can you use your light too?
I'm gonna use my light as my, yeah.
Please, please.
Filmed in December 2014 and shared by the YouTube channel Sasquatch Mafia, this eerie moment unfolds under cold, fog-heavy conditions in Yellowstone National Park. The air is thick with mist, the temperature biting, and visibility reduced to shifting shadows between tall, silent trees as evening slowly sets in. A group of grazing animals moves calmly through the scene, feeding from the ground, their quiet presence creating a fragile sense of normalcy. The conditions are harsh, low visibility, damp air, and fading light, yet nothing in the frame appears disturbed. Then, something breaks that stillness. At first, the shifting haze suggests more than a single presence, subtle movement hinting at others just beyond sight. Yet only one figure truly steps into view, while anything else fades seamlessly back into the fog. As it moves forward, its gait is calm and deliberate, its heavy, bulky frame carrying an unnatural weight. In that biting, cold, and dense fog, the idea of any human being out there, moving in such a way, feels highly unlikely. Could this massive, shadowed figure be one of the creatures long whispered about in these forests, watching, waiting, and far stranger than anyone dared imagine? Or merely a shape slipping through the fog, fleeting yet undeniably real? Iskya. Right up is footage uploaded on the YouTube channel Whatnot. Deep in the forest, the calm is broken by subtle movement. Something is out there, hidden among the trees. Just over a minute in, the thermal camera catches a faint heat signature.
I just lost it in the trees.
Yeah, I did too. What direction is that?
That's in the west.
Maria, we see something moving in and around you. Are you seeing anything?
I'm not seeing anything so far, but I'm about to take the thermal out. I'll let you know.
Yeah, copy. What is that? Oh, that thing took a step. Hey, Maria and Russell, this is Bryce. We got something right between you guys. Is there any way you guys can link up?
A small shape shifting with purpose. It twitches, then vanishes, swallowed by the underbrush. The forest feels alive, every rustle hinting at something watching. By the end, the figure is gone, but the presence lingers, a chilling reminder that the woods are never truly empty, and some things move unseen, always just beyond sight.
Right there, take a look at this thing.
Do you have a visual?
Yes, it is moving.
Alright, let's try to go faster.
Oh, I see it right there. Do you see that? Oh, that just triggered the interceptor drone. Guys, target acquired. Target acquired. The interceptor drone is programmed to launch only when the surveillance system identifies an upright walking creature. Maria and Russ are converging on a heat signature as we speak. So within a few seconds, we're going to get a detailed visual of just whatever it is that's out there.
The footage takes a sudden turn as the thermal camera picks up a distinct bipedal heat signature in the southwestern section of the forest. The figure moves with deliberate intent, taking long, elongated strides that carry its bulky frame effortlessly through the dense underbrush. The drone springs to life, tracking a massive figure moving through the forest.
We should see it coming up on this screen here.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that thing is moving.
It should be approaching it right about now. That's definitely it right there, yeah.
Guys, we have a walking target.
Each long, powerful stride carries its bulky frame with effortless authority, precise and aware of every eye on it. Then, suddenly, it's gone. The heat signature disappears, leaving only the chilling proof that something enormous, cunning, and fully aware has passed through, and it's still out there. The late afternoon sun filters through dense pines, long shadows stretching across the thick underbrush. A thin mist curls through the forest, and a cool mountain breeze stirs the fallen leaves. The forest is quiet, almost unnervingly so. The camera reveals two dark figures among the trees. One crouches low, almost swallowed by the underbrush, while the other stands upright nearby, alert and watchful. At first, they could be mistaken for fallen logs or shadows, but their broad shoulders, long arms, and muscular frames make them unmistakably alive. The figures move with quiet, deliberate coordination. The crouched one shifts cautiously, while the upright figure scans the surroundings as if sensing an unseen presence. The forest itself seems to react, mist twisting around them, shadows stretching, every subtle movement hinting at awareness. Even in stillness, the forest feels alive, acknowledging something extraordinary, hidden, powerful, and impossible to ignore. The figure does not move at first. It pauses, silent, as if sensing the observer. The sunlight flickers, revealing glimpses of its form. Then, slowly, it shifts, retreating into the thick trees, leaving nothing but shadows behind. One question lingers. What would have happened if the taller figure had turned fully to face the camera? Whatever it was, one thing is clear. This forest holds secrets meant to remain unseen, and for a fleeting moment, the camera caught a glimpse of something extraordinary, dark, silent, and impossible to ignore. Few clips are as tense as this one, uploaded to the YouTube channel Sony Veta. Most Bigfoot stories come from the dense, remote forests of the Pacific Northwest. This one unfolds in the rugged wilderness east of the Banff National Park boundary along the David Thompson Corridor, where such encounters are far rarer and the mountains rise sharply from the plains. The first night in camp was quiet, too quiet. Shadows shifted among the trees, accompanied by heavy, deliberate movements that seemed almost calculated. The hunters assumed a bear might be nearby, yet the sounds carried a weight, an awareness no ordinary animal would possess. After securing the camp, a trail camera was set to watch the perimeter. Returning from the day's hunt, they left it in place overnight, capturing the forest in silent vigilance. By morning, the footage revealed glimpses of something moving just beyond the firelight, far larger than any man, and far more aware of those who dared enter its domain. On a quiet night, the camera flickered. The lens jittered as the wind stirred the evergreens, every branch and leaf tense. Then, in the upper left corner, two enormous eyes flared to life, glowing, unblinking, and nothing like a human's. Alive, aware, watching every subtle movement. For a heartbeat, the shadows froze. And then, just as suddenly, they vanished, leaving only the memory of that gaze and the unsettling feeling that something had been waiting there all along. We've all heard the stories of Bigfoot lurking in the shadows, toying with unsuspecting campers. Could this finally be it? Could these glowing eyes belong to the creature itself? In a cold, windswept forest, the clip from the YouTube Shorts channel Jeepers Conspiracy, a man films quietly, capturing the subtle movements of wildlife among the trees. Mist curls over the ground, and the crisp air carries the rustle of leaves and the distant calls of forest animals. A lone creature prowls nearby, sensing the presence of both man and forest. Suddenly, A massive, Bigfoot-like figure bursts from the shadows, its towering form dark against the pale light. Without warning, it lunges at the smaller animal, claws and limbs colliding with a force that shakes the underbrush. A violent struggle erupts, leaves and branches flying in every direction. The man holds his camera steady, heart racing, as the two massive beings clash, power, speed, and primal instinct on full display. In the chaos, the forest itself seems to watch, silent and tense, as if guarding secrets it has kept for centuries. When the dust settles, the forest exhales, leaving only disturbed foliage, and the haunting sense that some corners of the wild are not meant to be witnessed. This footage, shared by the YouTube channel Twatkume, plunges viewers deep into a remote mountain forest, shrouded in the quiet haze of late afternoon. Sunlight filters weakly through towering pines, casting long, trembling shadows across dense undergrowth, while a thin mist curls among the trees, carrying the chill of the high-altitude air. Every leaf quivers in a faint breeze, yet the forest feels unnervingly still, as if holding its breath. Slowed deliberately, the clip magnifies the mountain beast's immense size and power. Each step resonates through the undergrowth, subtle yet devastating, while the surrounding trees appear unnaturally stretched. Bending under an impossible weight far beyond human scale. Something massive stirs just beyond the tree line, shadowed but undeniable, hinted at by swaying branches, trembling foliage, and the faint shift of mist. There is no frantic motion, no sound beyond the whisper of wind, only the commanding awareness of a colossal, intelligent being, quietly asserting itself in its domain. Then, as the camera drifts forward, the creature finally emerges. Broad-shouldered, cloaked in black, it stands beside an uprooted tree, completely still. Its massive frame and long arms radiate raw, legendary power, every movement deliberate, intelligent, and awe-inspiring. Mist curls around it, shadows deepen, and the forest itself seems aware of its presence. The clip leaves a haunting impression. The wilderness may appear calm to anyone else, but it conceals beings far larger, far stronger, and far more conscious than anyone could imagine. Every element, the mist, the light, the shadows, the immense trees, conspires to reveal a presence both terrifying and awe-inspiring. A reminder that some secrets of the wild are not meant to be seen, only felt. This next encounter comes from the YouTube channel NVTV. In Utah, a lone hiker ventured into the rugged backcountry, camera in hand, intent on capturing the wilderness in its raw, untamed beauty. The forest was quiet. The only sounds were the crunch of his boots on the rocky trail and the whisper of wind through the pines. He paused to film the surrounding landscape, framing the trees and distant ridges in his shot. Then something made the footage shift dramatically. The camera wobbled as it swung to the background, revealing a massive jet-black figure moving silently just a few feet behind him. Its movements were deliberate, almost eerily calm. each step deliberate enough to make its enormous size unmistakable. Broad shoulders and a towering frame suggested something beyond ordinary, something that belonged entirely to the shadows of the Utah wilderness. Questions immediately come to mind. How could such a massive presence go unnoticed, unheard, and unsmelled? As the hiker finally glanced back, the shadowy figure loomed just behind him, and in that instant the full weight of its presence hit him. The answers remain locked with him, leaving viewers gripped by the unnerving thought of something colossal moving silently, impossibly aware, and just out of reach. At first glance, this striking image immediately draws attention to a large, dark, ape-like creature sitting low within a dense forest clearing, its long arms resting near the ground. Its build appears broad and powerful, covered in thick, dark fur that blends naturally with the surrounding shadows and vegetation. The posture suggests stillness rather than movement, as if it is quietly observing its environment. The forest is lush and slightly overgrown, indicating a remote, undisturbed setting. Soft, filtered light suggests late afternoon or early evening, with calm and mild weather conditions. Yet the question lingers: what exactly is this enigmatic creature, and what awareness lies behind its unnervingly still presence? Following this, the footage reveals a striking shift in the creature's behavior. The large, bulky figure, once seated and almost motionless, now begins to move, rising with slow, deliberate intent. Its heavy steps suggest awareness, as though it has sensed something beyond the viewer's sight. There's nothing rushed or erratic about it. Instead, its movement feels controlled, calculated, and quietly unsettling. This change from stillness to motion adds a deeper tension to the scene. It prompts an intriguing question: is this the same passive presence seen moments ago, or has something triggered a far more alert and unpredictable side of the creature? Deep within the frozen isolation of Siberia, a passing vehicle's dashcam captured something that no one expected to see. The footage, later shared online, shows a desolate, snow-covered road cutting through a dense, lifeless forest. No movement, no sound, just the oppressive stillness of winter stretching in every direction. Then, without warning, a pale figure emerges from the tree line ahead. It moves upright, crossing the road with a strange, deliberate stride, too fluid to be a typical animal, yet not entirely human in form. Its limbs appear slightly unnatural, its motion controlled, almost aware, as if it understands it's being seen. For a brief moment, it exists fully in the open, exposed against the white snow, and then it's gone, slipping silently back into the forest, leaving behind only faint disturbances in the snow and a lingering sense that something was never meant to be witnessed. Whatever crossed that road knew exactly what it was doing. Far within a remote snow-covered region of rural Russia, a brief and unsettling clip surfaced online and quickly spread through a Reddit thread on r/highstrangeness, drawing attention for what appears to move along the forest edge in the distance. Between bare trees and drifting snow, a dark upright figure becomes visible for only a moment, contrasting sharply against the white landscape. As it moves, its motion appears unusually structured, long, deliberate strides carrying a tall frame that feels disproportionate to the terrain. The limbs seem extended and angular, with arms swinging in a way that gives the silhouette an almost legendary humanoid quality. It does not hesitate or pause, instead continuing steadily across the edge of the frame, partially obscured by trees and distance, making identification difficult. Within seconds, it slips fully back into the forest and disappears from sight without explanation. The brief appearance leaves only uncertainty behind. Viewers remain divided between misidentification and something unknown, as the low clarity and fleeting motion prevent any definitive conclusion about what was actually captured. Captured during a quiet seaside getaway, the footage begins with an almost cinematic calm. Waves folding gently onto the shore, wind sweeping across scattered rocks, and the fading sun casting long shadows over the coastline. The family's camera continues rolling into dusk, preserving what seemed like an ordinary, peaceful evening by the water. As darkness settles in, the shoreline grows still, with only the rhythmic crash of the sea breaking the silence. Then something unexpected happens. behind a cluster of weather-worn stones near the water's edge, a dark, heavy figure begins to emerge. At first, it is barely noticeable, just a distortion in the shadows. But as it moves, the shape becomes clearer, broad, upright, and unusually large compared to anything natural in the environment. It slips out with slow, deliberate motion, as if aware of being near the open shore. For a brief moment, it stands partially visible before continuing along the rocks and disappearing into the darkness. What exactly moved through the shoreline that night remains unanswered. Closing out this case is footage submitted in January 2015 to Bigfoot evidence by a witness named Matt, recorded during a canoe trip through the swamp channels of Lettuce Lake Park. Initially, the figure in the footage is believed to be a bear moving through dense marsh vegetation. The environment is heavily overgrown, humid, and difficult to visually navigate, with limited clarity between reeds and low branches. The sighting is later reported to a park ranger, who notes that bears are rarely present in these deeper swamp zones. After reviewing the clip, even she, the ranger, is unable to identify the subject. The footage is also placed in context with a Fox 13 report referencing regional Bigfoot-related discussions, including public statements attributed to Mayor Bob Buckhorn regarding similar sightings. On closer review, the movement appears unusual, with elongated arm motion and a fluid progression through dense vegetation.
Let's go.
That does not correspond clearly with known local wildlife. The subject remains at a distance and is never approached directly. The clip ultimately remains inconclusive, with no definitive identification of what was captured in the swamp that day. These unsettling encounters were recorded by everyday witnesses who never expected to come face to face with something so unexplainable. Are these glimpses evidence of an unknown species hiding in the wild, or simply misidentified moments in harsh environments? The question remains open. Share your thoughts on what you believe is really being captured, and stay tuned for more unexplained footage from the edge of the wilderness. First up is a video captured in a Russian forest in 2015 by a group of children. This footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Bigfoot Encounters, which archives viral Sasquatch sightings from around the globe. In 2015, a group of children ran straight into the deep quiet of a Russian forest, talking, laughing, wandering deeper between the tall pine trees and fallen branches without care.
Он, короче, опять на нас напер, наверное. Засни, если что, на YouTube выложим. Смотри, тихо. Блин, смотрите сюда.
At first, nothing seems unusual. Just the natural sounds of the forest, the camera sweeping across the lush green floor. But then, everything changes.
Он ветки не шевелит, по-моему. Я ничего не... О, вон, передвигается. Чучело. Смотри, ветки шатают.
One of the children spots something moving in the trees and points directly at it. The camera focuses on the area, and they wait. Suddenly, they see it. About 50 yards away, a massive figure covered in dark fur is moving through the trees. It walks upright, but not like a human. Its arms are long, swinging wide, almost reaching its knees with every stride. It moves fast, covering ground with a confidence and speed that no human could match through terrain like that.
О, жал! Я заснял его! Пугать его пошли! Я заснял! Ё-моё!
Amused, one of the children moves toward the camera, pointing at the spot where the Bigfoot has already melted back into the forest. It felt like it was never there, as they don't see it again. The children do not chase it or follow, as they know it would be a bad idea. Coming up next is a video that makes you think seriously about the intentions of whatever is in those trees. This footage was uploaded by Sunnyvator Into the Wild, a channel known for documenting raw, high-definition encounters with cryptids in remote wilderness areas. The video opens on a clear, dense evergreen forest with a large fallen trunk lying across the foreground. Everything looks still until it appears. Right there between the trees, a huge, dark, heavily built figure steps out from behind the timber, holding a large branch of a tree, which it swings hard into the nearest tree. The branch lets out a loud crack, breaking easily. What a beautiful display of strength. Look at the way it strikes the tree with full force, just a few meters from where the camera is positioned. It's almost like it's putting up a show for the camera. And then, without hesitating, it throws the remaining branch directly at the camera. This does not look like an accident. It feels deliberate, like a warning, but it doesn't end here. The Bigfoot pauses behind the tree line, staring straight at the camera, and then gradually walks back into the forest. This is a territorial display from something that knew it was being filmed and wanted whoever was behind that camera to stay away from its space. Unlike most Bigfoot videos, this one is different. This footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Squatch Me Now. The video opens with tall dry grass pressing in on both sides and the loud crunch of the cameraman's footsteps passing through thick vegetation. There are lots of trees around, but then something ahead stops the camera. Right there between the trees is a strange wooden structure. The camera moves to the side as though the man behind the camera is hiding. He zooms in slowly on the structure. What comes into view is a shelter built from heavy logs with branches deliberately interwoven to form walls and a roof. This doesn't look like something a person would casually throw together. The logs alone look too heavy. The construction is too intentional. Something built this, something that needed somewhere to stay. The camera moves closer, and this time, it captures the inside of the structure. The floor is unusually clean, cleared of loose debris and branches, unlike the environment, which looks dirty. Seems like something didn't just build this, but also keeps coming back here. Then suddenly the atmosphere shifts. The camera jerks upward and swings around fast as the cameraman senses movement outside. Without hesitation, he runs, breathing loud and heavy, no longer interested in anything except getting out of that structure. Outside of the wooden structure, he slows down, the camera scanning the tree line, searching. Silence wraps around everything. But then, something moves again. The camera looks around, following the movement of the trees behind the wooden structure. The camera lingers, and it catches it. Between the dark pine trees, a strange shift in the shadows builds slowly at first, and then, without warning, a loud, deep howl tears through the trees directly at the camera. The cameraman turns and runs without looking back, but the footage does not lie. Right there between the trees, hidden in the shadows, is a large bipedal figure standing upright with a wide, heavy head sitting directly on massive shoulders, watching the human who walked uninvited into its home into its territory. The cameraman never goes back. He leaves without looking behind him once. The case was uploaded to Tim Wells Bowhunter. 2 hunters in a remote Idaho wilderness came face to face with a Bigfoot in 2013 during elk season. At first, they thought it was a bear, the tallest bear either of them had ever seen. Then it stood fully upright, and that explanation fell apart completely.
So we're 4.6 from the truck, and that's the closest road. I'm coming down here, I'm beat, get my gear off, get ready to eat. All of a sudden Eric's like, oh my gosh, big bear, big bear. I grab my bow, I raise up, I look down the hill, and it is the freaking tallest bear walking on 2 legs I've ever seen in my life. But the moment I realize, I turn to get Eric to turn on the camera. He's already filming at that point.
Yeah, I didn't get pushed on play until...
But when did you realize it wasn't a bear?
Well, when I realized it wasn't a bear, when we were sitting here, and with the foliage and everything, the undergrowth here, it looked like a bear because all I seen was the brown coming through. But then, as I got the camera and stood up, and you grabbed your bow, when it stopped right there at that pine.
The camera catches them spotting it again in the woods. One hunter grabs the camera and runs after it immediately.
Give me the camera.
Oh. The footage shows the creature moving between the trees before disappearing into the forest. The hunter who chased it said it was running 3 times faster than he was.
When I got up and I caught that little glimpse right down there in that canyon, I could see him running, and that was running. It had to have been running at least 2 to 3 times faster than I can run, and I can run fast. But I've never seen anything run that fast in my life.
Up next is a video that was uploaded to the YouTube channel Legend Tracker, a channel known for tracking down and archiving some of the most significant cryptid sightings in the world. In 2013, a couple was hiking along a logged road above one of the lakes in Mission, British Columbia. They were taking in the scenery, enjoying the quiet of the green landscape, when their camera locks onto something already standing on the ridge before them. Right before their eyes was a dark figure standing on a rocky outcrop several hundred yards away. Yet even from that distance, it looks massive, standing out starkly against the pale rocks and green foliage. They stare in awe. Then it begins to move. The bipedal figure rises fully, showing its massive figure. Its arms swing wide with each stride as it moves further into the thick forest with ease. Covering ground smoothly across steep, uneven terrain that would slow any hiker down significantly. The couple tries to catch a glimpse of where it's headed, but it's gone deep. Silence echoes around them, and the image of what they saw never leaves their mind. Imagine standing at the top of a mountain, thinking you are completely alone, taking in the silence, and then you see this. The next footage was captured and uploaded by Miles Lamont, an experienced hiker and biologist, who was exploring the mountains outside Squamish, British Columbia. In 2011, Miles and his friend hiked to the summit of Tracunni Peak, which sits at roughly 6,500 feet above sea level. They were taking in the vast landscape around them when something moving across the frozen ridge caught their eye. At first, it looked like a small dark dot drifting through the wide open field of white snow.
We're on top of Tracunni Peak, and pretty sure it's just Sasquatch down there.
Miles steadied his camera and realized almost immediately that what he was seeing did not make sense. The figure was walking upright through deep alpine snow, without stumbling, without sinking or slowing down. It moves with ease and confidence.
Same stage.
Sure, that's him. Look at how the way he's walking.
Oh, I wish you could see it better in this thing.
He's huge.
That is pretty big.
Miles pulls back the zoom to show viewers the full scale of the environment. All around are mountains covered in ice stretching in every direction. No houses, no trees, no trails, just open wilderness. The distance between Miles and the figure is vast, and yet, even from there, the size and movement of what he is watching are unmistakably those of a Bigfoot.
Just to give you an idea where we are right now. Middle of nowhere. Why would he walk up that way?
The camera zooms back in. The massive figure with wide swinging arms is moving steadily across the slope, taking the higher route rather than the lower, easier snow line.
I did. He covered that ground pretty quick. Holy. And look him go up.
Pushing further up into terrain no hiker would voluntarily choose. Up next is a video uploaded to the YouTube channel Gulf Island Rock, known for raw, unedited footage from the rugged wilderness of the Gulf Islands and Vancouver Island. Deep in the ancient forests of Vancouver Island near Port Renfrew, the camera moves slowly through moss-covered timber. Everything feels still and quiet in the way old forests always are. Then the camera stops. Something is moving behind the trees. The lens focuses, and what comes into frame is large, massive, not human-shaped. The camera zooms closer and catches a glimpse of thick, deep brown fur on a heavily built figure that almost perfectly blends into the surrounding trees. The forest itself acts as a camouflage for the huge figure behind the tree. The creature seems to sense something and goes completely still for a moment. Its deep brown fur merges with the decaying logs and wet forest floor so completely that if it had not moved, you would never have known it was there. Then it shifts slightly again, calmly and comfortably, in a way that tells you this is its space and that it has no reason to feel threatened. The camera pulls back, and for the first time, you can see the creature's full height. Its broad shoulders are tucked into the hollow of a large cedar, its face turned away as it seems occupied with something at the back of the tree, perhaps eating insects or leaves. Suddenly, it twitches slightly, maybe reacting to the sound of the cameraman shifting, yet it does not move from the spot. It stays there without showing its face. But what was this Bigfoot doing behind those trees that it barely noticed someone standing there filming it? What you're about to see next is a video that was recorded in the swamps of Florida. This clip was uploaded by Bigfoot Evidence, a channel known for uploading community-submitted Bigfoot footage from around the world. In January 2015, Matthew McAmai took his canoe out into the swampy waters of Lettuce Lake Park, Florida. He thought it was going to be like any other day on the water. Then he heard a loud splash. Matthew got scared, but he didn't turn back. Instead, he recorded the event. Dark water, thick cypress trees, and hanging Spanish moss surrounded Matthew as he scanned the area, tracing the sound. At first, he sees nothing, but then he hears it again, and this time, he sees it. Right there between the dark branches on the other side of the swamp is a massive figure with thick black wet fur splashing the water. The bipedal figure stands up, its back is hunched, and it moves. Then it stretches, standing fully upright, showing its massive dark figure. Matthew paddles his canoe forward slightly, trying to get a closer look at this Bigfoot without being noticed. Just take a look at the Bigfoot's wide arms swinging at its sides as it splashes the water around it, moving like it's playing with the water. Then it walks away into the dark water until the swamp swallows it completely. In this next case, we explore a video that was uploaded on the YouTube channel Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, a channel dedicated to investigating high-altitude Bigfoot sightings across the western United States and Canada. High in the Wasatch Mountains, more than 9,000 feet above sea level, two men stand on the valley floor, pointing a high-powered telescope at a distant frozen ridge, when they notice something strange moving across the cold, icy slope. At first, it is just a dark figure moving through the snow, but the longer they watch, the more unsettled they become. The figure appears covered in dark fur from head to toe, and the way it moves does not look human.
We were sent the following footage by a person that goes by John. It was filmed on one of the mountain peaks along the Wasatch Front mountain range. The guys that filmed it were down in the valley, 4,200 feet elevation, and zoomed in on a peak 9,000 feet elevation. They did their best to film this creature running horizontal, then vertical.
No human can walk that fast, or that smoothly through snow that deep, but this figure seems completely unbothered by the cold, moving with immense physical power and showing no sign of exhaustion or hesitation.
There's something wandering across the face of that.
As the camera zooms in, you begin to see the rhythmic motion of its limbs, long strides, arms swinging low, moving through the jagged rocks without any clothing or limb gear. What could this be? Few moments later, a helicopter pilot who had seen the footage flew out to the exact ridge where the massive dark fur figure was spotted. The helicopter camera points straight down at the snow, and captured in its lens is a long, straight line of perfectly linear footprints. Each one placed directly in front of the other in a tightrope pattern that neither a human nor a bear could have produced. The stride length between each print tells you everything you need to know about the size and power of whatever made them. This was not a hiker. This was not a bear. This was a Bigfoot right in the snow. That's where these 9 encounters end, but nothing about them truly settles. From forests to abandoned ruins, every place shared the same feeling, silence that was never empty. The footage stops, but the sense of being watched continues, because once a location reacts to your presence, it remembers. And the question remains, did we explore these places, or were we the ones being observed all along?